Number one, there is lack of scientific evidence to support the accuracy of tarot readings, and there is no basic violation of the laws of probability and statistics. Now, next we move on to psychological errors. So, it is mainly cognitive bias which are causing these effects, convincing people, make it look real, but this is not the same as the reading being true. It's some form of cognitive bias which is making it look true. So, this is a psychological error. And the second psychological error is high suggestibility and placebo effect which happen in that environment where the reading takes place. That calm place with those scents, with the lighting and the speaking style of the reader, we can get to know more psychological effects which can be produced in that setting. The suggestibility is increased because I already the last episode that these people already have a worldview which fits, which accepts tarot card as truth, like a New Age, Hindu, etc. And they will accept these as some form of information which is given, some form of wisdom, prediction, secret, etc. The next form of error is philosophical and theological errors. The whole framework, New Age movement framework, is false, and that is the false, factually, scientifically, etc. That forms the philosophical foundation is wrong. Theological errors regarding divination. This is a form of divination, and it is prohibited in the Bible, it is prohibited in the Quran, all the monotheistic religions. God severely punished these as sin with death penalty. So it's a serious offense to God that you should believe some card, a deck of cards, rather than trust Him. So that is a very serious error which deserves the death penalty in both Old Testament as well as in Islam. As New Testament also, it is prohibited for Christians. And if there is a Christian country which is secularized or thoroughly Christian laws, of course, they will implement these things, ban the witches or tarot readers, even execute them or remove them. Logical errors, or more of a linguistic error, is use of vague language which can fit in any way. Zoomed out language, and logical error will be using a circular reasoning and post hoc rationalizations of tarot prediction. Okay, even if there is failures, the person will rationalize it. Okay, somehow that this is true, given even sufficient evidence for it being false. So the historical errors are important because that is the story they will tell you to make you believe that this is the ancient wisdom. This was practiced by the Babylonians, Egyptians, etc. So one of the most pervasive errors in the tarot card divination process is the false claim that tarot cards have ancient mystical origins, like Egyptian mysticism. But this is a blatant misinterpretation of tarot's actual history. Tarot card goes back only to around 15th century, and these cards were used for playing. They're like the cards which we use for playing games. And the idea that tarot cards contain hidden spiritual knowledge from ancient civilization was fabricated much later by occultists such as Antoine de Gébelin in the 18th century. Okay, and there is no credible historical evidence that tarot cards have any connection to ancient Egypt or any other ancient spiritual system. Also, this is also some form of delusional thinking. Okay, a delusion, a false fixed belief that this set of cards and symbols can give you knowledge about, wisdom about future or unknown things. So that is definitely a delusion. And New Age followers do follow are susceptible to or suffering from delusional disorder of some kind and of some magnitude. And that has to be acknowledged because of these types of false information, false processes like tarot cards, crystals, etc., which are believed to contain certain powers. Okay, and that is the delusional aspect of New Age thinking. And this will take you totally back to the dark ages of those civilizations, like Indian civilization of pre-modern days, where India is still now in pre-modern civilization, mostly in their thinking, in their personal thinking, decision making, etc., based totally based on astrology and other forms of divination. So I can say confidently that these non-Christian pre-modern cultures are divination based. Okay, or be all these astrology, tarot cards, and other forms of divination or fortune telling. Okay, they will have a specialist, shaman, etc., who will tell, and it is according to his guidance and the solution which he prescribes that these people will operate. And that is totally delusional thinking. And what is normally called as superstition. Next, we move on to scientific errors. First and foremost, there is no empirical evidence. And next, tarot cards are drawn at random, and there is no mechanism by which a random selection of cards can reveal specific information about an individual's life or future. Okay, so you have to get it. Any perceived accuracy comes from the readers and believers' interpretation, not the cards themselves. So the divination process often relies on cold reading techniques, where the tarot card provides vague generalizations, generalized statements that the individual can apply to the situation. And this process does not involve any real scientific insight or prediction, but instead exploits human tendencies to see pattern and assign meaning where none exists. Next, as we saw before, psychological errors, is mistaking the cognitive bias for a real interpretation and assigning truth value to bias, like confirmation bias, Barnum effect, etc. In addition to that, placebo effect also plays a role in perception of tarot success. So since they're using symbols, that is the foundation of tarot's deception. Okay, the key ideas include the role of symbols in tarots. Tarot cards are filled with symbolic images, each representing abstract concepts and ideas like love, death, change, fate. These symbols evoke emotional responses and encourage personal interpretation. Tarot relies on Jungian archetypes, universal symbols that represent typical human experience and emotions. Cards such as the Fool, the Magician, the Lover tap into deeply ingrained archetype ideas about life, growth, and relationships. The flexibility of symbol interpretation. Tarot symbols are deliberately vague and flexible, allowing for my interpretation based on the reader or the individual's perspective. This ambiguous and flexible nature of the symbols enables tarot readers to mold the meaning of a card to fit any situation. Emotional power of archetypes like the hero effect, the lover, and the sage resonate with universal human experiences, making the tarot seem more meaningful and personal than it is. Tarot exploits these archetypal images to create a false sense of depth and personal relevance. Symbols and archetypes as tools of deception. By using universally recognized symbols and archetypes, tarot creates the illusion of spiritual or psychological insights. So this is just illusion of insight, not real insight. And this deception lies in making general human experience seem like personalized guidance. So that is the basis of all of these divination scams. It is that the general human experience is made to look like a personalized guidance. In conclusion, the foundation of tarot card deception lies in its use of symbols and archetypes and the interpretation of these symbols. And we have seen that this therefore is just psychological plasticity and interpreting the common events as if they have some personal significance. I also discussed about the factual errors, psychological errors, as I said here, as well as the philosophical logical errors. And what is mainly left is the logical errors. The last episode I discussed the cognitive bias, and now you know the secret of the tarot cards. Okay, how it works. How symbols and archetypes are the main route through which it operates and convinces the human mind. And this happens among people who have the New Age or Hindu worldview, a pre-modern worldview, which is based on some form of shamanism or astrology, diviner, seance, crystals, etc. So it is all these are accepted in that New Age ideology, New Age thinking, New Age framework, and tarot card also is one of those things, pre-modern superstitions which form a false guidance, a scam in the New Age movement. It's a New Age scam, therefore. So thank you for joining. The next part, we'll go further into the tarot card, divination, and why. About so many other aspects of tarot card reading.